basketball. First game we're going to talk about today is St. Louis at Dayton. We have St. Louis coming into this game 25-2 on the season. Dayton is coming in 18-9. St. Louis is laying 4.5 points on the road. Total is 156.5. This game and this line is very interesting to me. Start off with last week, as far as actually St. Louis, we actually came on here and we both talked about them about how much we actually love that spot for them. And they were down big. I mean, big.
I was like, oh, I guess they're not covering today. I didn't even think they were gonna win at one point.
Yeah, they were down. They were down a lot. I like forgot what the number was, but they were big time down. And for me, that was a big play. So I was like, what is going on here? But they stormed back to not only win the game, but they did cover. I believe it was a 7.5 line. So yeah, they came back and showed up there. Now here, man, like I said, they're laying 4.5 on the road. Matter of fact, I even see a 3.5 at actually DraftKings currently.
Why?
Yeah. So these teams played, I believe it was the end of January. The end of January, and St. Louis won 102-71. Now, I mean, like obviously, like as far as their offense was extremely hot. Obviously, not expecting that like type of win here. And like Dayton has been playing well. I mean, they've been beating everybody. Really, I think they lost like to VCU, which VCU and St. Louis. I mean, VCU is a lot closer to actually like what St. Louis is. They lost that game 99-73. So it seems like Dayton plays well, except when it's against these better teams. I just don't understand this like number, man. I have this number, like the number that I make is actually close to 9.
Yeah.
So I am way off here.
I'm actually at -7.5 too.
Okay. So yeah, what are actually you thinking here, and why do you think that this number is so low?
The only thing that could make me think that it's so low is the fact that Dayton's at home. They're a better home team than they are on the road, and the factor of that I guess is why this line is dropping even more. I don't know why it's so like that. It has to be that home court. Other than that, anything. If this was a neutral zone, I do think it's a -7.5, -9. If this was neutral territory, at least, because St. Louis basically does everything better. Like every category
Literally.
leans St. Louis. Every category. Unless they're just thinking St. Louis is on the road and it's gonna drop a little bit efficiently. But they have a 22 scoring differential, so it's like I don't I don't know. St. Louis is trash though. They're probably one of the best low
I was
level
about, I
schools.
was about to say I'm not sure what you've been watching, but Saint Louis is
They will
very
lose or win by one. I mean, watching that line movement, that wouldn't shock me now. Like it would be like, oh, this is a trap game, I guess. But I'm still gonna have to take them at this line. I just feel like it's way too low. And they're looking to like they're dominating teams.
good.
Yeah, that was that one game. Yeah.
Right, yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're trash. Just actually because yeah. St. Louis is a very good team, and I am gonna definitely back them here in some type of way. I still haven't figured out exactly how, but I am. We actually have Craig in the chat too. What's going on, man? He's saying ranked teams traveling to unranked has been hitting 60% this season, and actually that is on the home team. So if you're into trends, there's one
some good trends.
that actually definitely yeah, that definitely makes sense. And that actually could be an actual big actually like a big trend of why this number's being bet down. But St. Louis, they've already had that. Um, they've already had that game that they lost, and I think that's what Justin was actually talking about a couple games ago because that was the Rhode Island game. And actually, like what we talked about, our last St. Louis game breakdown was they lost that game that like got them fired back up, and I just think that they're like back and like
And they
ready.
even were down in the VCU game
Yeah,
and came back. So that even shows me that they're not gonna like. Even if that wasn't like if that was like that should have been a wake up call too. Like they came back in the second half and like said, you know what, we're here. Like we ain't gonna have another letdown. So they're gonna like show. I feel like they're gonna show up like to every game now. Um,
yeah.
you know.
And actually, Craig, you do make a good point. The books are probably accounting for that. I mean, if for what you're saying there, as far as something hitting at that rate, I mean, yeah, the books have to have that priced in, and
Mhm.
that's why I think, um, and that's why I think the my number is actually so far off. Um, but yeah, I don't
Because
know.
all the
There's been some of
statistical
these.
numbers lean St. Louis. So
Yeah,
if you're back to data, it should be St. Louis all the way.
there's been a few college teams this season where people just seem to want to bet against them every game.
Mhm.
As far as actually the St. Louis team, I've noticed that is one of them. As far as Miami, no, there's another one. Um, just because they haven't lost a game yet, so people are just keep betting them to actually lose, and they just haven't lost yet. Um, Craig, 72% of the money on St. Louis and the line is bet down. The other is like weird. I had, that's not something that
Yeah.
I don't I don't really care about that. I probably should care a little bit more, but that's just not really
And
how I
as
view
you always say, like rebounding is something that travels. So
this.
even in the rebounding margin, St. Louis is a better team, and they're on the road, and they're gonna. I don't even think Dayton's gonna have enough possessions to keep up with the scoring of St. Louis because they're averaging 90 compared to St. Louis averaging. I mean, Dayton's only averaging 76 points per game. Like
Correct.
it just for that line to be like that just doesn't make sense. It just has to be what they're talking about as far as the trend betting. Um, well, I'm St. Louis here.
Yeah, man. I am too. Yeah, I think we just talked a lot. Just to say that. Uh, Bruce, what's going on, man? Glad to see you back. Let's get back to cashing today. Yeah, man. We've actually been cashing. This past week was actually one of the biggest weeks I have had in a long time. Absolutely massive week. So yeah, if you are not in the VIP, make actually sure to click that link right actually down below us. We actually do have a special for you today. Uh, you can actually get in for only $7. So definitely make sure take advantage of that. Um, Craig saying wait for better
I don't
line.
think it's gonna get lower than three and if you could get
I,
3.5.
I was about to say with the 3.5, I just don't see it going lower than that. Really, really don't. Bruce, if you are on YouTube, which you have to be because that is the only place we're actually on currently. Um, I'm actually used to streaming to so many different spots. If you go right down below the actual like video here, um, there actually is a link, and it says like your first month deal and all that stuff. So yeah, just actually click on that and we'll get you set up. But we do still have one more game. I was about to log us off. We do have
We gotta get
NC
back used to live.
right NC State going to Virginia. This NC State game we also talked about them this past week. We were actually all
What's
over
going on, Nick?
State, um, and yeah, they came through. Um, we thought they were going to beat. We just thought that was a blowout spot,
Hmm.
and it certainly was. That game was not even close. They actually beat UNC 82-58.
You know what's even funnier about that is that they actually dropped the price on UNC recently. So I've been betting some good UNC spots.
Right. Um, our guy Nick is in the chat. What's up, man? Glad to have you here. Um, and man, NC State. This is for me kind of the same handicap as that one. NC State. Seems like I never know what I'm going to get from them, man. Um, um, this is a team that some games that they look good, some games they look horrible. Um, as far as Virginia goes, this team is good. Uh, we've actually talked about them over the past couple months. This is a team that I want to be betting on. This is a game that, once again, I think as far as national like a parlay piece, I think this is a great game for actually that. But also here, I also like their team total over. I believe it's 78.5. Let me check on that to be sure. Yep, 78.5. Versus this actually defense, I do think that they can get to actually 80 points here to a night. Because actually this actually Virginia team this year is not like the team that you've seen from them in the past few years. They're not that same slow, actually like defensive first team. Like this team scores points. And State, especially as far as their defense goes, I just do not trust them. So now actually Virginia being on their home court, I actually do believe that they can get up and over 78 points to a night. Nick, what do you have going here?
I think you're giving me too many points for NC State in this game. If this was a closer to a 3.5, 2, maybe a 4-ish, uh, I'll be on Virginia. But NC State, they're playing really well. The way they play, I think will give Virginia a little bit of problems. I don't say they're going to win outright. That kid, Ben Allen Lubin, he's an absolute bucket. I don't know if anyone knows, he's shooting 70% in this month of February, which is crazy. Um, and
That is great.
NC State, the way they're gonna play is they lead the turnover margin. If they could win in the turnovers, they're gonna look to win the game. And if you don't know, NC State actually doesn't really care about being on the road, because they actually shoot better away from home. Um, so with that being said, I'm gonna take the NC State in the points here. I think you're giving me too many.
Okay. I actually make this game 8. So I am definitely going to be on the other side of it here, but I am not going to lay those points. Like I just said, I'm either going to be playing their team total over, or either I do think this is a good parlay piece. Um, so there is a way here that we can both win.
Yeah.
So we're not really going straight head to head, but
If NC State could lead in the turnover margin, if they could cause double-digit turnovers, it wouldn't surprise me if they win this game outright. I just think it's just too many points for a team that's playing very well, who actually doesn't have that much of a home road discrepancy.
I hear you. I hear you. And Nick here agrees with us. You. He says this is too many points.